物已然清点，此地的宝物，咱们前往2楼完毕。走吧。
青甲3赤眼和范圣真片上的图案一模一样，手6臂，
此地竟然供
养。
王门主何意？
此种奇方妖神，
道友且慢，我等平分吗？
情形下，这些玉盒还够。
果然按捺不住了。
Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Allrasta channel. Here, I will share spoilers for a record of a mortal's journey to immortality, episode 175. Remember, this is based on the novel, so it won't be 100% similar to the Donghua version. Okay, without further ado, let's dive right into the story. After successfully entering Master Chang Kun's treasure location, the group was treated to the sight of 3 treasure racks neatly lined up in the middle of the first floor. The racks contained various heirlooms, ranging from 16 ancient weapons that emitted powerful energy and rare materials such as blood-red crystals to bottles containing precious medicinal pills. Henli remained calm and showed no emotion, while the other cultivators dared only to observe with their eyes to assess the quality of each treasure before the distribution began. Marquis Nanlong then stepped forward to lead the inspection of the items on behalf of the group. Although they appeared to be amiably discussing the origins of the heirlooms, each of them was actually on guard and calculating the profits to be gained. While waiting for the distribution to begin, Henli tried to look for other opportunities in the corner of the room and was attracted to a small green plant called yin grass. However, his steps halted when Yan Ruyan approached him with a very friendly attitude. The woman tried to ease the tension and old hostility between her husband, Wang Chan, and Han Li. Even though Yan Ruyan spoke in a pleading tone, Han Li remained wary and responded coldly, reminding her that their alliances were on opposite sides. Han Li did not want to get caught up in the family drama and remained focused on his goal. Their conversation was finally interrupted when Marquis Nanlong called everyone to gather immediately to begin the long-awaited division of the treasure. The treasure distribution process took place meticulously under Marquis Nanlong's direction. He explained the difference between ancient heirlooms that could be used immediately and magical treasures that required further refinement. Henli cleverly chose to give up his privileges on the first floor in order to gain priority on the more valuable treasures on the second floor later. This decision was approved by the others, as it was considered fair. Finally, the distribution was carried out evenly, with Han Li obtaining a mysterious bamboo tube along with some materials and medicinal pills. After making sure that no more valuable items were left behind, including ignoring the treasures and herbal plants that were considered less valuable, the group prepared to head to the next floor. As soon as they set foot on the second floor, they were greeted by the strong scent of incense and a small shrine. There stood a golden statue of a one-horned demon with 6 arms that looked very fierce and lifelike. Han Li was surprised because the statue was very similar to the demon on his sacred provenance plate. This room appeared to be Master Chang Kun's private chamber, as evidenced by the work desk and bed made of blue ice jade that emitted an extremely cold aura. Above the jade bed were 3 very conspicuous jade boxes, believed to contain the most valuable treasures. This discovery immediately turned the calm atmosphere tense as everyone set their sights on the mysterious boxes. Greed finally peaked when the old man in the white robe moved as fast as lightning to grab one of the jade boxes. However, his actions immediately triggered an aggressive reaction from the other members of the group. As the old man was about to take the box, a sudden attack was launched at him. The attacker was none other than Wang Tiangu, who then calmly explained that he only wanted to confirm whether the old man intended to use his privilege on the jade box. Although the old man managed to dodge the attack, the tension peaked when Wang Tiangu began to question the fairness of the distribution of the small amount of treasure on the second floor. He argued that it was unfair for Marquis Nanlong and the old man in white to examine the contents of the jade box, which might contain Master Chang Kun's great secrets, before making their selection, while the others were left with only the leftovers. The situation heated up when the old woman and the other cultivators surprisingly sided with Wang Tiangu, forming a sudden alliance to pressure Marquis Nanlong. Marquis Nanlong, feeling betrayed and cornered by the coalition formed by Wang Tiangu, tried to intimidate them by emitting the pressure of his mid-stage nascent soul cultivation aura. However, Wang Tiangu and his allies were undaunted because they had planned this confrontation from the beginning. Now, Marquis Nanlong and the old man in white robes had to face 4 early nascent soul cultivators and 2 late core formation cultivators. Amidst this stalemate, all eyes were on Han Li, who had not taken sides. Han Li, realizing his crucial but dangerous position, chose to remain neutral and took a few steps back, declaring that he would accept any decision without resistance. However, a huge surprise occurred when the old man in white robes, who had been Marquis Nanlong's ally all this time, suddenly betrayed him. Instead of attacking Wang Tiangu's group, he launched a deadly attack at Marquis Nanlong's chest with his silver wheel weapon. The attack successfully penetrated Marquis Nanlong's defenses, although the special armor he wore saved him from instant death. It was revealed that the old man had been bribed by Wang Tiangu's side from the beginning. Now, with Marquis Nanlong seriously injured and the old woman blocking the exit, Han Li realized his own life was in danger. Even though Wang Tiangu offered him cooperation, Han Li knew it was just a trick. Han Li's only option now was to consider Marquis Nanlong's offer to fight together in order to survive the deadly siege. Tension peaked when Marquis Nanlong used a secret technique to repair the dents in his armor and temporarily suppress his internal injuries. Seeing this, the old man in white robes warned his allies not to let their guard down because Nanlong was still very dangerous when cornered. Wang Tiangu immediately devised a cunning strategy. He ordered the stern-faced cultivators, Wang Chan and Yan Ruyan, to simply restrain Han Li so he couldn't escape, while their main force would focus on killing Marquis Nanlong as quickly as possible. Wang Tiangu himself began to emit a thick black aura that enveloped his body, ready for a life-and-death battle, while the other members of the alliance prepared their respective ultimate weapons. In the midst of the siege, Marquis Nanlong took a surprising action that no one had predicted. With a sweep of his sleeve, he picked up the 3 jade boxes on the bed and, without hesitation, threw one of them at Han Li. It was a clever tactic of pitting them against each other. Nanlong deliberately gave away the treasure so that the enemy's attention would be divided, and Han Li would be forced to fight to protect himself. Han Li, who realized Nanlong's hidden intentions, could only laugh inwardly at the irony of the situation. However, he calmly caught the box and stored it in his storage pouch, officially accepting the fact that he was now also the main target of the Wang Tiangu alliance's hunt for the mysterious box. Wang Tiangu did not let the provocation ruin his plan. He remained calm and ordered Wang Chan and Yan Ruyan to help the stern-faced cultivator surround Han Li, while he and the rest of his troops remained focused on Marquis Nanlong. Strangely, even though the room was filled with murderous intent, no one dared to attack first. They were all afraid of a deadly counterattack from Marquis Nanlong, who now resembled a cornered beast. Marquis Nanlong himself stood silently, his face growing redder and redder like blood, making his enemies even more hesitant and keeping their distance, worried that he was preparing a powerful suicide move to drag them to their deaths with him. The tense silence was finally broken by Han Li's exhalation. Unexpectedly, he threw a small black object into the air, which instantly expanded into a giant black mountain 25 meters high. The mountain fell and divided the battlefield into 2 parts, blocking the enemy's view. The stern-faced cultivator reacted immediately with his jade staff, summoning an illusion of a giant white tiger to attack the mountain. On the other side, Wang Chan and Yan Ruyan also activated their blood mist and poison techniques. They thought Han Li was only trying to defend himself, but they did not realize that Han Li was actually taking the initiative to launch a deadly attack. Taking advantage of the chaos caused by the appearance of the Black Mountain, Han Li used the lightning wings on his back to move in the blink of an eye, accompanied by the roar of thunder. He suddenly appeared right next to the stern-faced, busy cultivator attacking the mountain. His startled enemy tried to defend himself with a light shield and a blue lightning counterattack from a magic gourd. However, Han Li did not dodge. Instead, he opened his mouth and spewed out a strand of extremely cold blue fire. The mystical fire penetrated the enemy's protective shield without the slightest hindrance, rushing forward to take the life of the stern-faced cultivator in one unexpected fatal blow. The small blue flame fired by Han Li pierced through the protective light shield without resistance, surprising the stern-faced cultivator, who did not have time to dodge. The impact of the flame instantly froze his neck, turning his entire body into a sparkling ice statue. Han Li then calmly absorbed the enemy's lightning counterattack using his golden lightning net and seized the dead opponent's blue gourd. Seeing his comrade's instant death, Wang Chan panicked and immediately shouted at Yan Ruyan to combine their powers. The two of them chanted the Blood Spirit art spell, creating a thick purple mist filled with terrifying ghostly howls to protect themselves from Han Li, who was considered a terrifying monster. Seeing Han Li's extraordinary display of power, Marquis Nanlong immediately sent a voice transmission, offering another jade box if Han Li was willing to join him in fighting the traitors. However, Han Li responded to the offer coldly in his heart. He realized that his quick victory earlier was because the enemy did not know about his heavenly ice fire. If he stayed, he would have to face 3 early-stage nascent soul cultivators and 1 mid-stage cultivator, while Marquis Nanlong was already seriously injured. Han Li calculated that the risk of being dragged to his death with him was too great and not worth the contents of the jade box, so he decided to flee. Before escaping, Han Li needed to make sure the enemy would not pursue him. He used his giant black mountain to suddenly strike Wang Tiangu's group. This sudden attack forced the white-robed old man and his allies to jump out of the way, breaking their focus. Marquis Nanlong took full advantage of this chaos to attack the old woman with golden lightning speed. A fierce battle broke out. Nanlong took out various ancient treasures to fight back, drawing all of the enemy's attention to him. With the high-level cultivators busy killing each other, Han Li withdrew his black mountain and prepared to leave unhindered. However, before actually leaving, Han Li glanced towards the purple blood mist where Wang Chan was hiding. Without hesitation, he shot a reddish-black light containing the Yin Demon execution technique into the mist. A heart-wrenching scream rang out from within the mist, indicating that the attack had hit its target squarely. Although he wanted to ensure the death of his archenemy, Han Li knew that Wang Tiangu would soon come to his son's aid. Not wanting to risk being surrounded, Han Li used a flash of lightning to teleport to the pavilion's exit, leaving the chaotic battlefield behind him. As he fled towards the hall's entrance, a beam of white light shot into Han Li's sleeve, which turned out to be Silvermoon in the form of a small white fox. Han Li's genius plan was revealed. When breaking the formation at the beginning, he had deliberately stalled for time and created a secret passage so that Silvermoon could sneak in first and loot the treasures inside the pavilion without anyone knowing. With Silvermoon returning with the loot and a box of jade in hand, Han Li emerged as the true winner. He successfully obtained the most treasure and escaped safely, leaving Marquis Nanlong and Wang Tiangu's group still risking their lives inside. Han Li's escape from Master Chang Kun's pavilion was accompanied by a tremendous boom that shook the entire hall. He was shocked to see Marquis Nanlong use a high-level secret technique, turning the magnificent pavilion into ruins with just one attack, while trapping his pursuers inside a giant golden dome of light. Han Li tried to cut a way out in the ordinary stone wall with his sword, but the wall quickly restored itself, causing him to frown. Marquis Nanlong, his face pale from his injuries and excessive use of inner strength, appeared behind him and asked Han Li for help in holding off the enemies while he opened the final protective seal using a single formation flag. Realizing their time was very limited, Han Li immediately took out his green formation plate and activated the remaining power of the amazing soul formation. The blue crystal wall reappeared, sealing the hall and providing additional protection, even though Han Li admitted that its power was only a tenth of its original. While Marquis Nanlong was busy chanting the opening spell, the sound of explosions and tremors from behind the crystal wall grew louder, signaling that the enemy was close to breaking through. As a last resort, Han Li summoned thousands of gold-eating beetles that formed a 3-colored armor on his body, a defensive technique that momentarily stunned Marquis Nanlong before he refocused on opening the path. When the stone wall finally opened, Marquis Nanlong shot out at the speed of golden light, followed by Han Li, who used his thunder wings to teleport instantly. They both managed to escape just before a huge explosion destroyed the last line of defense behind them. Outside, Marquis Nanlong had time to hurl hateful curses at his pursuers before using Master Chang Kun's secret technique, Milished Line. His body turned into a super-thin thread of light that shot away at an absurd speed, disappearing without a trace. Han Li was not to be outdone, continuing to use his lightning teleportation until he was seen only as a flickering dot in the distance, leaving his pursuers, who had just emerged from the ruins, behind. The group of pursuers, led by Wang Tiangu and the old man in the white robe, who was revealed to be a hidden elder of the ghost spirit sect, felt anxious seeing their target escape. The old woman and the brown-skinned cultivator panicked at the thought of Marquis Nanlong's future revenge. However, the old man in the white robe calmed them down with a cold tone. He explained that Marquis Nanlong's escape technique consumed a great deal of vitality, and with his current injuries, his cultivation would surely decline drastically. Furthermore, the old man revealed that he had planted a tracking device on Marquis Nanlong earlier so they could still hunt him down. The old man's motive for betrayal was also revealed. He killed his old friend not only for treasure, but also to prevent Marquis Nanlong from defecting to the righteous sect with the secrets of the Valley of Fallen Demons. After Marquis Nanlong and Han Li successfully escaped, Wang Tiangu's group and the old man in white robes, Master Yun, debated their next move. They revealed a cruel backup plan. If they failed to capture Marquis Nanlong, they would use soul-searching techniques to steal the secrets of the Devil's Fall Valley from his memory. They were also not too concerned if Han Li took the valley map with him, because they planned to leak the news to the entire cultivation world to cause a major upheaval that would benefit the ghost spirit sect. In the midst of the discussion, Wang Tiangu suggested returning to check on their injured comrades, especially his son Wang Chan and the stern-faced cultivator who had been crippled by Han Li earlier. Upon returning to the ruins of Master Chang Kun's pavilion, they found a pitiful sight. Wang Chan lay unconscious with both legs severed below the knees due to Han Li's mysterious black light attack. His wounds did not bleed but were covered in a strange black aura qi that prevented healing. Wang Tiangu carefully took a sample of the black aura to study, hoping to understand Han Li's terrifying power. After the aura was cleared, Yan Ruyan was finally able to try to restore her husband's legs. However, the real surprise came from the stern-faced cultivator who had been turned into an ice statue. The group tried to free him in various ways, from throwing jade stones to shooting pure fire, but the blue ice absorbed and destroyed everything. Realizing that their companion's physical body was dead, they suggested that the cultivator's nascent soul come out to find a new body. The stern-faced cultivator trapped in the ice heard the suggestion and destroyed his own physical body into ashes, leaving behind his small, vengeful soul. A terrible tragedy occurred when the nascent soul tried to break out of the blue ice prison. Instead of being freed, the soul's protective vital flame was burned by the fierce blue ice flame. In a matter of seconds, the blue flame devoured its entire soul. The nascent soul screamed in pain and flew aimlessly like a dying blue fireball before finally disappearing completely into nothingness. The stern-faced cultivator was completely destroyed, both his body and soul annihilated without a trace, leaving Wang Tiangu and his companions with a deep fear of how deadly Han Li's power was. After escaping pursuit, Han Li used his lightning-fast movement technique and blood-red cloak to travel hundreds of kilometers before finally stopping when he saw the Mulan tribe's convoy. Remembering the information about the war between the Mulan tribe and the southern heavenly cultivators, Han Li decided to infiltrate the ox cart convoy escorted by low-level magic soldiers. He secretly destroyed the contents of one of the broken carts and hid inside it, making this group of ordinary humans the perfect camouflage to avoid detection by his nascent soul-level enemies. In this way, Han Li planned to safely exit the Mulan plains without attracting unnecessary attention. While meditating inside the cart, Han Li listened to the conversations of the Mulan people outside, who greatly revered their magic soldiers. Once he felt it was safe enough, he activated a sound barrier and summoned Silvermoon, his small white fox spirit artifact. Silvermoon proudly recounted the results of her looting at the Jadebeer Pavilion. She had managed to take 3 of the 6 ancient jade boxes on the 2nd floor thanks to her extraordinary concealment technique. Henley smiled with satisfaction because he now had a total of 4 jade boxes, 1 from Marquis Nanlong and 3 from Silvermoon, which meant that the majority of Master Chang Kun's inheritance was now in his hands. Henley then began to open the jade boxes one by one. The first box contained a light blue jade slip, a piece of jade that stores information. After examining it with his spiritual sense, Henley seemed to think for a moment but did not reveal its contents, making Silvermoon curious. The second box contained a jet black ring that looked ordinary and had minimal spiritual energy. Although Silvermoon was disappointed, thinking it was just an ordinary magic tool, Henley remained optimistic that an item specially stored by Master Chang Kun would surely have an important use in the future. With their curiosity still unsatisfied, they prepared to open the last 2 jade boxes to see what other secrets were hidden inside.